Yo, 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 yo. Welcome, family, to season 2 episode, man. We like episode 12 on this one, man. And we back in the shop again on this Big Money No Problem Talk podcast show, man, where we get straight into the point. I'm Chuck, aka Big Will, with my brother from another AG, aka Mr. Ileana Jones.
What's happening?
Yes, sir. And also, man, we got the homie, Fur Main in the building tonight, right back with us as usual. One of our shop regulars.
Fur Main. That was Fur Main Entertainment. Welcome, my fur landers, my fur men, and my fur ladies. Welcome.
We also missing one. We minus one today. You know what I'm saying? He out there handling business right now. We got 88 Keys, man. Check him out on all platforms. 88K3YZ for sure, man. We want to let y'all know as well that the Big Money No Problem Talk podcast show is sponsored by Mill Hub Media, Profound Entertainment, where they have a selection of new artists and gamers. We also want to let y'all know, man, that our podcast show is over those internet airwaves, man. You can check us out all the time on One United radio station, which you can stream at oneunitedradio.com, or you can download the One United Radio app. You can also check us out, man, every Saturday right there on, 92KELZ radio station, which can be streamed live at 92KELZ.com, or you can download the 92KELZ app. Tune in. So continue to support the movement as we continue to make moves man. So on the show today, man, we got a dude I've been listening to, I want to say since 2000, when Jig introduced me, since 2014. It was that long ago. and and he just been rocking, man. So, hey, go ahead, introduce yourself, man, to the world right quick, though.
What's good? I'm Thautz, one half of a new group, GMT, that we're working right now, and always with my man Jig the God, I think one of his number one artists who always comes through for him or whatever. And we've been working for a long time. I've known him for a long time. We've been working for a long time.
Yes, sir. So, as we about to get into it, this is kind of like a new little platform what we doing today, man. We got Thautz got a new project. Is it out yet or is it coming soon?
It's coming soon.
There you go. Yeah. So y'all can basically get a little snippet of some of these songs that he got coming on. He gonna talk about them. We'll have some conversations about them, man. And hey, this is a vibe out one. This is nothing but bars being talked about today. So do
Let's
what you gotta do. You already know. So do what you gotta do, man. The vibe out with us. Let's get straight into those. Moments, man. Get into the straight into the point. So, just to get started. Thoughts, man. Just kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Once again, man, just kind of introduce yourself again and just kind of talk about how you got started in the music.
All right, yeah, it's Thautz. Well, I got started kind of a little bit, I guess, late as far as music is concerned. I had just graduated high school and I was running with a couple of my homies or whatever. And we was really just messing around on our free time, just making beats and stuff. And we decided to do a couple of tracks. Well, when we did our couple of tracks, this is back in Florida, down in Panama City. We made a little short joint with like 4 songs on it or whatever, but it picked up traction in our little city or whatever. So we were like, maybe we do got something here. And then over the years, as we grew older and everything, everybody kind of branched off to do their own thing, started having families or whatnot. And I just kept at it. And I had ran into Jig after some years had passed, and we were just talking music and everything. And he was showing me some of his catalog that he had some artists that were supposed to work on, but they weren't coming through for him or whatever. So we had linked up and worked on a project, and then it turned into 3 projects, and now we're going into our 4th project.
Yeah, it's been kind of like I said, man, it's been kind of like a mystery when it came to you. Because I remember when Jig, the first joint I heard from you was on, when Jig used to do the Soulful Sunday.
Right.
And then it was the Daily News joint that you did.
Right.
And then I was like, I said, Jig, what's up with the homie right here? And he was like, yeah, that's the homie Thautz. And I was like, hey, he's spitting. And so it was like, that was my first introduction to you. And then I think as time went on, it was the organic project that kind of just solidified it for me. Like, yeah, this dude is tough.
That was our first one. That was our first,
Yeah.
our first full one together was the organic project.
Exactly.
I know the Chuck had sent, you know what I mean, a few joints that you had did. He sent them my way, and I was like, oh snap. You know what I mean? The homie spitting. You know what I mean? And I think that's when I first really got introduced it was the Soul for Sundays, wasn't it? You know what I mean? When you sent them my way, wasn't Chuck? Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I was a fan ever since, you know what I mean?
Appreciate and what's crazy is, you know what I'm saying? Let me tell the public I lied. It was actually before the organic problem. It was the organic project. It was the joint you did with Jig. I just posted on the IG, the lyricist Dream joint with my man who did the poetry.
Did the poetry, yeah.
Yeah. Because Furman, that's the one with Matt was on it. Matt did the poetry talking on that song, and then Thautz did the other verse. I was in the studio with Matt when he did that. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of crazy, like, and that was when I was like, "Dang, this dude is really a problem." Dude is really a problem.
Hey, I mean, bar for bar. It's never you know what I mean? It's never a dry bar though. Like, you know what I mean? Smacking you with every line.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I tried. That all came from, being in a group. Like, we was always, so we were like, we were influenced by Wu-Tang. So there was 6 of us, when we first started, there was 6 of us together. So, we're always trying to outdo the other one because you don't want to be, low man on the totem pole whenever a record comes out. So it was always friendly competition. That's how it was.
And that's kind of
that's how you get that energy though, man. You know what I mean? You get that energy that way. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no dissing or nothing, but you know what I mean? You feeding off everybody else's energy. That's how you come?
Right.
Hold on. Let me fix the drum board.
Right.
I got to come a little harder. Yeah.
Right.
Do you think that? So do you think that, like, even right now, you think that's what's missing in the game right now? Just that type of.
I really do, because with me linking back up with my homie on this next project, he was somebody that was in the group. Like, it's different. Like, when I can hold my own by myself. I truly believe I can hold my own by myself. But when I'm with somebody else, it's that friendly competition that I feel makes me write a little bit better, because I always want to make sure that I'm coming a little bit better, if not a lot better, than the person that I'm standing next to. And it just makes me write. It makes me write a little bit different.
So what was like your early, like, when you started to really get into it, when you started to feel like, my pen game was up? So what was like your early, like, raps kind of about before you started to really transition over the way you to me, I look at you as a conscious dude.
Yeah, well, when I first started, it was just like, let me see how many rhyming words I could put together. Like, I really wasn't as structured. And then years down the line, a friend of mine had challenged me. He was like, I need you to try to write about something instead of just, putting a bunch of punchlines and stuff together. So actually make a song about something. So I was like, so it kind of challenged me. So then I started trying to gear towards, making something that meant something that would have some longevity and lasting power. And then I just kind of evolved that way, because early on, like, honestly, I wasn't really saying much, but as time went on, I realized, you need substance in order to last. You need substance. So I started trying to do stuff that would mean something to somebody, so it would have lasting power. Like, that's just how I kind of molded myself. So now I try to at least do something meaningful, like on the project that we're talking about now, this latest project, like Marvel. I think that's probably one of the most powerful things that I've written so far.
Here's the thing. Marvel goes hard though. Like, we played Marvel on the 92 KL show too. You know what I mean? That's one of my favorites. You know what I'm saying?
Now, here's the thing. Now, thoughts.
Yes, sir.
Now, what you just said just now was one of my gripes, because I haven't heard your whole catalog.
Right.
I maybe heard about 3 or 4 songs.
Right.
And I heard great bars, great punchlines. But then I said, hey, I don't know who this guy is. Where is he from?
Right.
What was his mama? How was he raised? I don't hear any of that. And
That's facts.
Huh?
That's facts. I said those are facts.
Those are facts. So I'm not tripping.
Right. No, not at all.
Okay. So I said, yo, how is every line hitting? Every bar is on point. But then I don't have a deep connection with you. I don't know your struggle. We all have a struggle.
Right.
But I don't know yours, Thautz.
And I got content. I got content about what, and I guess maybe I have been a little on the private side because I do have content about, you know, things that I've been through, you know, as far as my kids and failed marriage and all kinds of stuff. Like I guess it in. I guess kind of hold on to that.
I got one of them, bro. I got the same story like you got. We got 3 or 4 of us got the same story you got.
You got to realize too, though, like, you know what I mean? This is just one project, though. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know what I mean? We have to go through the whole catalog. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one project, though. But you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, they're out there. They are definitely out there. Yeah, but I feel you on that. Yeah, I do got some stuff that tells you a little bit about me. I just really haven't really let the stuff out.
I would really like to get to through your music and not through this interview. I would really like to get to know you through your music, man.
I feel
you know, because you have great bars, man. Like I was listening, like, damn, he got every bar on point. But I'm like, I would love to know who he is.
Right.
You know, a little bit more, you know, just about your struggle, because not all is good with you. Not all is good with anybody on here. We got some good and bad, pros and cons with us. And that's the only way we can do the yin and yang balance.
Right.
So I really want you to balance the bars out. I want to know who you are, man.
I can do it. It ain't nothing but a word. I love a challenge.
Okay, man. Yes.
Challenge.
Yes. So next time Chuck plays some music, next time Chuck play me some music, I want to be that's who he is. With the bars. Oh.
All right. I got you. I got you.
And then at that point, you will step up to another level, man. For me, I don't know about it, but for me, it's gonna be, this dude is serious. He got bars with some of his experiences and maybe a good message or word for me.
Right.
Oh man, that's a recipe. That's a good recipe, man, for a song that will never age.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's like a good steak, man.
Definitely. So that kind of segue into off this 4D project that he got dropping soon, man. We'll go ahead and play. Hey, AG, go ahead and play that snippet of that Address That joint. We're gonna talk about that one.
One, never have to question me on what, why, and how come. True to who I am, stay the courses in the plans. Is it me you do not like or choose not to understand? I got power in my hand, see the presence I command. You don't need a cable provider to see I'm on demand. I'm not trying to be the man, but if the soul fits, focus. Just a couple nuggets, baby. Murray
Jokic. Bars.
I gotta be the man, but if the soul fits, focus.
But yeah, so just like that, you know, when I wrote that, I was like, okay, well, I know I can hold my own whenever it comes to music or whatever, but a lot of times it still feels like you get overlooked, and you know, somebody that, I mean, I don't want to take credit away from anybody because everybody has their own talents or whatever. But sometimes I feel like, man, I could do that just a little bit better, if not way better. But you get overshadowed by something that you may feel is lesser personally. So when I wrote that record, that's what I was on. I was on that. Okay, he might be nice, but I'm nicer. So let me address what's really going on right now, because they ain't really seeing what's going on right now.
Just that allow me to introduce myself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, so just to kind of give us like your your writing style? Like, what was your writing style? Like, what would you consider like your type of style when it comes to writing? Like, how you go?
Man, it's weird. Like, so if I hear a beat or whatever, like my process is this. So if I hear a beat and if it instantly makes me start mumbling like a melody or a cadence or whatever, then I know, okay, yeah, I got something here. And then I'll take the little mumble cadence and then just start filling in the gaps and putting the words in and putting the words in and putting the words in. And I try to let the beat motivate me to a certain direction or whatever. And sometimes, like when I got into a point where I was wanting to challenge myself, I would like, if Jig sent me a beat and he had a name of the beat, I would just look at the name of the beat and see if I can play off whatever he names the beat. I'll see if I can play off what he named the beat and make it into something. Like that's just been something that I've been doing.
And I've done that with a couple of Jigs beats, like especially like that Mind Over Matter joint. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I feel what you're saying. Because it kind of, to me, it's kind of like a challenge. You kind of want to capture what the producer was, you know what I mean, what they were feeling when they created that sound. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And add a little extra oomph to it.
Exactly. So just kind of talk about like a little bit like with some of the early stuff. Like I know with Jig, like the organic, like when y'all put that one together, to me that was like a major introduction in terms of you. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, the song that got me on that project was Heavy was No Gimmicks. You know what I'm saying? Because you was actually like letting it be known like that's not what I'm about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It was, you know, like I try to always be, you know, authentic to myself whenever I'm creating. I don't want to do a facade of somebody that I'm really not or whatever. So that's why, you know, if you listen over the years, like, because, you know, I ain't never been into drugs or anything like that. So I'll never make those kind of references and I won't, you know, degrade women or things like that. That's just not who I am as a person. So I won't, even if it's what's hot, I'm not going to conform to it just to make something hot, because I got to stay true to anything that I do or anything that I say. Like I can stand behind it because that's just who I am as a person. So no matter any project that I do, and that's why there's not, you know, curses and stuff in my music either, because, you know, I don't talk like that on a regular basis. So, and when I first, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Because when we first started doing music, I was living at home. You know, I come from, you know, a Christian background, so that stuff wouldn't fly at the crib either. So as I grew up and moved out, I kept the same writing style, and I still think that I can still come off nice either way it goes. So that's just me.
But I mean, to me, that's what shows lyrical, you know what I mean, your true lyrical talent. You know what I mean? A lot of people, I mean, I might throw one or two in some, but a lot of times, a lot of the cussing is used as fillers. You know what I mean? It shows that you actually have a vocabulary to play with. You know what I'm saying? When you can take all these words and put them together and make them make sense that way without using a bunch of fillers, then that's what I call lyrical talent.
Right. Appreciate it.
No
doubt. Was that difficult for you, or is that something that just came natural?
It came natural. It really did. It's just because that's how I started. I guess if I started in a different direction, then it might have been a transition period or whatever. But that's how I started, and that's how I continue. So it was pretty easy for the most part.
I like how you said that too. Not to pat myself on the back or nothing, but it came natural. It came natural.
But it's crazy though, because just to kind of get y'all opinion on it as well. To me personally, when I hear like Christian rappers, you know what I'm saying? When I hear them, I always used to say it's a lot of talented dudes in that genre, because you're not using cuss words. You're not saying nigga. You're not doing none of that stuff.
Right.
And I always used to say, to me, y'all, they can be respectable. I just used to feel like the overuse of the religion.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was more so like if I didn't hear that, because I feel like when you telling your story and still reference it a little bit, to me, you still speaking the language of what some of these real dudes would speak. When you talk about because when I think about some of the real artists in the game, the Jay-Z's and all them, you hear it, but some of their realest songs, they don't really do that because they really want you to hear what they're saying.
Right.
So it was something I kind of noticed, like just kind of get y'all opinion on it.
Yeah, and I feel that's 100% correct, and I feel you on that, because I was raised Southern Baptist or whatever, and it can be overdone, like it definitely can be overdone, and if you try to force it, I think if you try to force feed it into the music, sometimes it starts to turn a little corny, in my opinion, but if it's done, if it's sprinkled right and it's done right, like, you can get your message and it can still be powerful. Like I enjoy how, Lecrae and Andy Mineo deliver theirs. It sits like right in the pocket. It's like they get enough of their religion in there, and you still can feel what they, what they talking. So
where they coming from? Yeah.
Where they coming from? Yeah.
I see a crossover a little bit though. I see a crossover from the gospel into the mainstream hip hop a little bit. I want to know what's your take on that. Is that acceptable to the new generation of gospel listeners, or is that acceptable to the old school? I don't know if that's going to be acceptable to our grandma.
That's a good question, because the old heads ain't really going for it.
They're not going for that, man.
They ain't going for it. So
Lecrae's making music with like very mainstream artists.
Like
and other people are crossing over.
On that notion, though, the old heads wasn't going for the religious hip hop at first, though. Either though, you know what I mean?
So that's true.
Everything changes as time goes along. You know what I mean? But we live in a world where everything is becoming a whole lot more acceptable and a lot more lenient. You know what I mean? And period, point blank, just like major businesses and corporations have learned, hip hop sells. You know what I'm saying? So I would imagine that, your religious leaders are kind of, feeling that too. You know what I mean? Hip hop can not necessarily sell religion, but broaden the religious fan base, or just the religious outlook, we'll say.
Right.
Exactly. And what I say, like what I like about Lecrae though, because sometimes when he do collab with those artists, he kind of bring those artists to his side. This is not, it's not the raunchiness of the song. Like they don't really, they kind of elevate their game a little bit to kind of go with what he's doing. So I definitely got to respect that.
But think about what you said, like he did that joint with E40. You know what I mean? E40 is actually a kind of a soulful dude anyway. You know what I mean? When you go through 40's catalog, you know what I mean? 40 gonna tell you some deep truths. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna keep it all the way funky, for real.
But he also did a joint with what's my man name? The singing dude, R&B dude. God dang it, forgot his name, man. Got the little hair, man, locks, little beard, man, light skinned dude, man.
I gotta think on it.
But he did a joint with him,
dude?
Young
dude?
I say kind of young. I won't say young, but he's kind of young. Matter of fact, he just got caught with the ice cream and everything, man. I'm not trying to put the words on here, man, but I hope Lecrae's not into the ice cream or nothing like that, man. Nah, I know my man just got caught with the ice cream.
He just
music. Right.
But yeah, just to kind of segue again, man, we're gonna play another joint, you know what I'm saying? Talk to because I kind of want to get a conversation towards this. Go ahead and play that Marvel.
My joint too.
Yeah.
Innocent people getting capped in America. Marvel. Is it race related? We can argue. Young black, so maybe I'm partial. Fun fact, didn't pay attention, you should start to. Just like a sequel, see we gotta play our part too. Sad that we're barely seeing justice with a lawsuit. Is it really skin color, anger that will cause you to kill another person for no reason? This is awful. Explain that. I got my hands up, don't shoot. Too late. Cop cops going diddy on us. Take that, get away.
Man,
that.
yeah.
You know
yeah.
what's
Hey, that whole track go hard, man. Like, you know what I mean? Hey, that's definitely one of them repeaters. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna run that back a couple times. You know what I mean? You're not gonna get the full emphasis of that song listening to it just that one time.
Yes.
You gotta run it back a couple times. You know what I mean? For real.
Yes. And that single is out.
That crazy. So it's crazy. I was in Las Vegas when I wrote. So Jig had sent me that beat or whatever, and I was walking to the 7-Eleven. I'll never forget. And I was playing the beat, and I see all these cops and stuff driving down the street or whatever, and I just started thinking about different situations that I had coming up, running in with the cops or whatever. So I just started writing. I had wrote the hook first. As I was walking to the store, and then I had wrote the first verse when I got back to my hotel, and I was like, I think I got something here or whatever. So I finished writing that record, and I got home and recorded it. And 2 days later was the George Floyd incident, like right after I finished writing this record. So I was like, if it ain't on time, it ain't on time. So I try to get it. I got it to Jig. Was like, we need to get this mixed or whatever so we can get it out there because, now is the time with all the injustice and stuff that we were seeing going on and still seeing going on. It kind of wrote itself, really. Like the stuff that was just going on, it just kind of just came out.
And that's what I was going to ask you as far as your writing. Like I know you just said it. You wrote the hook while you was walking, then you wrote the verse when you got back to the hotel room. So like generally when you write a song, I know like when I write, once I started, I can't. It's hard for me to stop until I'm finished. You know what I mean? Or are you kind of that way, or will you put it to the side for a minute and go back and revisit it?
Yeah. So when the words are just flowing, and then I'll normally try to write it all. But when I start getting to a spot where I feel like I'm forcing the issue, then I'll just sit it down because I feel like whenever I force the songs that I just forced out, like they just didn't come out as well as when it just organically comes together. So I'll start writing, and sometimes you have those days where all the words will be there and you can write it all in one sitting. But then sometimes I'll get started and then I'll get to a point where, if I'm stuck on a line and I find that I'm still on that line, like 20, 30 minutes later, I'll just put it down because it's just not there for the time being, and then I'll just try to come back to it. But yeah, I get in those modes too where I gotta finish too. But sometimes I just find that some of my weaker songs were ones that I just forced the issue on instead of just letting it just roll.
Because you can even tell that when you recording it, because you can't put the same feeling into it when you recording because it's forced. It's not what you would, you know what I mean, really, you know what I'm saying, really just initially, it's not the way you initially wanted to come off with it. So you just not as into it and pumped with it. You know what I mean? As you
now on the recording aspect though, I'm funny about that. Like when I go to record, 90% of the time I gotta record the whole song the same day. Because I found that if I record a verse here and then come back to it another time, it just doesn't seem like it has the same energy. So if I'm recording, I normally try to do it all in one sitting if I can, because it's a lot harder to try to mimic the energy from the initial recording for me personally.
Especially when you went off to a whole different track. You done got a whole different cadence in your head trying to, come back to that one and revisit where you were at mentally, with that. So yeah, I can understand.
And then the tone will be different as well.
The tone will be different as well.
The tone will be different. The mood will be different. It just won't quite. I get you, bro. I get you.
Yeah, that's.
So just to kind of get back into like the aspect of Marvel, how important do you feel like when it comes to real rap like that? Especially during this day and age, how important do you think that should be for artists to do? Because when me and AG talked about it before, we talked on one of our shows when it came to real rap in terms of the conscious or just letting it be known what's going on in the world today. We felt like it was a time frame, even right now, where the party rap and everything like that is not needed right now. You know what I'm saying? Because of what's going on.
And so what's going Oh, yeah.
Exactly. So that's why when I heard Lil Baby go with the bigger picture, and he kind of showed that aspect to be able to talk about that. How important do you feel like for young artists as well when they're in this game that they should elevate that? They should talk
it's huge. It's very important, especially with with the social media age and everything. Like everybody has so much influence on what's going on right now. So if you can sprinkle something in there that's powerful, that can change somebody's life or open somebody's eyes to something, I think it's very necessary. Like very, very necessary.
Definitely.
Like, because you can influence them to do whatever you want almost. And so why not, even if you got your own party stuff or whatever, why not sprinkle something in there to make them think or open their eyes to something that's going on, because you might have somebody's attention that somebody else can't get. Like if you got their attention and I couldn't get their attention, use it. I mean, that's how I feel.
I think especially it's important, especially for the younger artists now. You know what I mean? Because that's who has the largest following now. You know what I mean? And those are they're reaching out to the minds that what I mean that we want to reach out to in order to stop a lot of the stuff, the nonsense that's going on, especially like the things that's going on in our inner communities and making more of our young people aware. You know what I mean? That it is a bigger picture. You know what I'm saying? It is something large. So it's a grander scale than what's just going on right in your own little world, your own box. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly. So that's why I kind of like when me and AG had that conversation, I was like, man, that's what's needed right now. Because that party rap and all that, first of all, we can't even go nowhere anyway because of COVID. So that's definitely an issue. But second, it's like when it comes to what's needed out here, that's what's needed, because it's nothing but hate that we seeing in these streets. And if we're not addressing that, then that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? As a community as a whole, because that's the only way. Because those are time records. Those are timeless records right there. You know what I'm saying? We still talk about fuck the police and all that stuff when you talk about NWA and all this that. Like those are timely records when you talk about stuff like that. So to me personally, that's why I respected Marvel when you dropped it. When Jig said that to me, I was like, man, this is instant. Because it hit so hard, and then it touched the soul something crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what's going on. And then your play on the words, you know what I'm saying? It was crazy. You know what I'm saying? It was tough. It was tough, man. So
it's definitely a
probably the most powerful record. Yeah, that's probably the most powerful record that I've written. But it was needed. So I hope that it does get heard by somebody, so I can, somebody that's blind to what's going on. I really don't know how you could be blind to what's going on, but there's still people blind to what's going on.
Oh yeah, trust me, they are. They definitely are.
I mean, I don't get it, but there's definitely people blind to what's going on.
We'll call them seemingly blinded. Seemingly
blind.
Seemingly blind. You can't be blind. You can't be blind to nothing that's right in front of your face. You know what I'm saying? Now you can close your eyes and not look. You can turn your head and look the other way. You know what I mean? But we're going seemingly blind.
Speaking of that, just real quick, like the project that I'm working on with a friend of mine, his name's G-Man. The group is GMT, the official GMT on Instagram. But we did a. And he was here visiting, and we did a record on the same day when they stormed the White House. So we got a joint talking about them storming the White House and living to talk about it. Had it been the shoe on the other foot, you know how that goes.
Come on, man.
So we already did a record about that too.
You already had a congressman come out, white congressman, say, you know what I'm saying, if it was Black Lives Matter, I would have feared for my life.
Right.
And then you got these dudes beating up police,
right?
Killing the policemen up in there. So that's, I don't know, man. See, like you said,
it's wild. It's wild.
Half of them were police. Half of them were police
and work for Trump. You know what I'm saying? So it was just crazy.
So the ones that was beating up the police at the Capitol, half of them had some sort of security or police authority in the situation, though. Like real life.
It threw me off. It threw me off with the police taking selfies with some of the people.
Who will have the boldness to hit the Capitol Police officer that has no jurisdiction in the world?
Right.
Who's doing that? They don't have no jurisdiction. They could go anywhere in the world and come get you.
Right.
So with
that's real with the U.S. Capitol Police.
With your style of rap, do you feel like with what's going on now, do you feel like what you seeing, what's going on in the world, the news, it's pretty much writing itself for you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It made it a little bit easier, just seeing what's, the things that are going on. And that's kind of in my pocket now, which it wasn't in my pocket before, but now that I'm trying to do something that means more to more people, it's kind of right there in the pocket. What's going on? So
Dig that.
Shoot, we about to go into another one right quick. AG, go ahead and play that because I like this one. Silver Lining.
What you see is what you get. I exhibit experience, so not taking them serious isn't smart. This lyricist is defining the definition of art. Don't have to get in character, I'm really playing my part. My life's a movie, but yours truly the original star. No other actors involved, cause I ain't acting at all. Uncut and actually.
Kind of talk about that one a little bit. That's one of my favorites right there.
Yeah, see, and I guess it's kind of the theme. Like it's still along the lines of, this is me, this is what you get. I mean, don't expect anything that I'm not. Like, I'm just gonna give it to you 100% real as I can give it to you, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, or I'm not gonna put on a front like I'm something else. Like, this is like, it's clean cut. And
can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
How are you from Florida, live in Oregon, but have a stone cold East Coast flow? I'm talking about up northeast though.
Right.
All the way up north.
That's real talk.
That's a good question.
That's real talk.
It's funny that you say that because, like I said, I was born in England, lived in Florida, and then Georgia, so I was in the South, and then now I'm out in the Pacific Northwest. But my influence has always been East Coast music. Like some of my favorites, Royce, the 5'9", Talib, Mos Def, Elzhi, Fonte, a little brother. Like, those are those are people that I gravitated to.
That tells me that you didn't allow other people to influence you.
Oh no!
In the way that you were going to do your art.
Right. Oh yeah, and it is crazy because I never really, with the exception of Outkast, I really didn't gravitate to South music, even though I lived there most of my life. I just never really gravitated to it. I always liked the sound of the East Coast.
How did the South take to your music, Thautz?
When we were in Florida, not too much at all.
Too much?
They didn't want much parts of what we had going on because we didn't sound like where we resided. So they didn't really take to it. They didn't really take to it too much. Now, when I was in Atlanta, it was more broad scale, because Atlanta was big in music. So it was a little bit different.
Atlanta's like the music mecca, you know what I'm saying? So
right.
Everything
in Panama City, they weren't trying to hear it. They were at that time. They were all on the the No Limits and the Cash Money and stuff like that. Like, that was the era that they were on. So they really didn't gravitate too much to what we were doing. But we did have a little small cult following in our little area.
And it's kind of crazy because I kind of want to talk about this a little bit too, because like, I known Jig, like me and Jig known each other, like that's family. I known Jig since we was in elementary school. You know what I'm saying? That's how long we known each other. And when Jig started making music, the first time I heard any of his production was back in, I want to say 2008, 2009.
Right.
I didn't even know Jig was producing. And so it's crazy when you talk about like what Furman was talking about, like with the styles, because Jig music, even though he grew up Georgia, Florida, South heavy, but everything is catered to that East Coast, up north type of swag when he dropped his beats. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
You spoke my mind, Chuck. You spoke
Yeah,
my mind. Like,
yeah, because it's kind of just kind of crazy. Like it almost felt like it was a match made in heaven. So when y'all connected, what was like how did that really get started? Like
So
start really working?
so we went to high school together. Jig's a little bit younger than me. But whenever we got out and started doing music, so we were working together on the bass. And when I moved out of my parents' house and I got my first spot, it was actually in Jig's neighborhood. So he used to always come down to the crib while we were making music and stuff. And then he was like, me one day, I'm gonna produce. So he's like, all right. So he used to be in there messing with our equipment and stuff, making beats and stuff. And then when he left and went to the service, he had hit me up and like, I got me some equipment or whatever. And then he just he started doing his thing, whatever. So he would just be sending me stuff when I lived in Atlanta or whatever. And I would mess with it here or there. And he really took it serious. And yeah, he just took off and he got some joints. And I
got some serious joints. Like for real, man. Like
some other artists. And he be giving them some bangers. I'll be a little bit jealous. I ain't even gonna hold you, man. he be making some joints, boy.
Hey, I gotta like for my music, I'm more of a southern, southern style rapper. You know what I'm saying? Right. So when I started hearing Jig beats, I think that was the first time I ever tried to really, incorporate the East Coast, style of flow into my music.
Right.
You know what I mean? But from Jig's production, it wasn't hard to do though. You know what I mean? It wasn't hard to do because it's straight bangers. You feel what I'm saying? So it wasn't hard to kind of adopt that, you know what I mean? That flow. So I kind of mixed it with a East Coast and like a Southern twang. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. And Jig kind of put you there. Like to me, I used to always tell, when I used to talk to Jig, I used to tell him all the time, I said, you got production that literally will make a person have to rap.
Right.
Like he can't hide behind the music like I used to feel, in my opinion, with some artists who just couldn't rap. They would just get on these heavy trap beats with these eights, and a lot of that would hide the fact that, oh, you ain't saying nothing. Right. You know what I'm saying? So when Jig started letting me hear some of his production, and what kind of got me heavy, like, hey, he really doing this was the remake joints he was doing, like that Joe Budden joint when he did that Partner Move remake. I was like, dang, that was crazy. And then when he did the Jay-Z American Gangster joint,
right?
That's when I was like, that's when I started to be like, yeah, we on to something. And then,
he's crazy with the samples too, man. He's crazy with the samples. Man. Like,
he is.
Yeah,
he's crazy.
And that was crazy. I used to challenge Jig, and I used to tell him, I used to be like, I said, the samples is tough. But I used to challenge him. I used to be like, dog, you need to find your sound. Right. And I was like, in terms of finding your sound, which means you got to start breaking away from these samples and start becoming a little bit more original. And then
that's what he's doing now.
Exactly. Once he started to become, and I started hearing that, and then I started to notice that he started to find his pocket, and he started to find his sound. I was like, dog, now you ready. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Now you ready. Because the sample's going to be the sample. Like the samples, to me, is still so, like, I still love the Fab tapes. You know what I'm saying? When he used to do the soul tapes and everything like that. So I always felt like that was Jig pocket right there. I was like, that's your one. But it was those, man, when he started to find his, and it was on, and I'm still, and Jig can tell you, I'm still working on that to this day with this dude, Tyson Tyler. I'm like, dog, you need to get Jig his money off them projects he did out there, artists in New Zealand. You know what I'm saying? Right. Dog, he gave him some bangers that was original.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, dog, them joints right there.
What's his name? Tyson Tyler?
Yeah, they need to get
Hey, Tyson Tyler, run that money, Tyson. Run that money, man. Come on. Hey, I got a passport now.
Started here, man. Run that, man.
Run that money, Tyson. Straight up. Real.
But it's crazy though, because I always felt like y'all was just a match made in heaven. Your flow, his production, it was like Oh, like you
Oh,
never
yeah.
used to miss
It meshes perfectly. Perfect.
I told him, I said, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do it together. We gonna get it together.
Hell
We
yeah.
definitely will.
Hell yeah.
And that's why I appreciate
I want to jump on a project with you one day, man. I told Chuck that a while ago.
Let's get it.
You know,
Let's get it. I'm always
I think it'll be dope.
I'm always ready.
Hey, we gonna play one more, man, before we get close to closing this. But we gotta play a snippet of the single that's out right now, Picasso. Gotta play that.
The best you can get a second, can't prosper with any weapon. It's possible I'm perfecting my craft. These paragraphs are reflection of modern methods, perhaps. I spit it better with words. I'm pretty clever, fall short. Not really, never. I'm here, still getting better. They fear I never let up. Authentic, I'm real. I've been ill since keep your head up. Stocking Malone, Amari and Nash. The perfect setup, I mean. You're standing next to a king, just like Coretta. I'm sealed, notarized letter. I'm stamped, now and forever. No chance. You'll get a leg up, I'm rare. Hidden treasure, who dare?
Standing next to a king, just like Coretta.
Yeah.
So you've been real since what, 94, 95? Keep your head up. So what, 93, 94, 95? You had about 12? I'm just guessing your age, my man. You had about 12, 13? I got you, bro. I got the numbers right.
Now, when I was creating that, actually, a friend of mine who used to be in the group as well was like, "Hey, I think I want to come out of retirement or whatever. So let's do a track together." So I was like, "All right." So I came across that joint that Jig had sent me. And then I was like, you know what? I said, let me see. So I was like in the mindset of, let me see if I can paint a picture verbally instead of visually. So when I was writing, that's what I was writing it as I was trying to show you something that you can actually see if you had your eyes closed, but just with the words. So that was the whole idea behind the Picasso track. So that's how I wrote. That's how I wrote for that. And I ain't gonna drop his name, but the second verse I had wrote for him and he didn't come through, so I went ahead and did it myself.
It'd be like that.
It'd be like that. He didn't come through for me, so I went ahead and did it myself.
Hey, and it didn't disappoint either.
I was about to say, sometimes in them situations, that's what I wanted anyway. You know what I mean? So
right. Might have came on here and messed it up anyway.
Right. Hey, and I've done a couple tracks like that, man. You know, feature with somebody on the song, man, and it's just like after the project is done, you be like,
yeah,
damn, I should have done that one. So
I think I'm gonna take them off.
Yeah. You have to make that call. Hey, no offense, fam, but look, I got this other joint I want you to hop on. Let me do this.
I done that. I done that a time or two. I ain't gonna hold you. I had to do that.
What's some of the new young artists that you kind of respect, or just who you feel?
Man, yeah, I ain't even gonna hold you. I don't really listen to none of the newer guys. I really don't.
Don't feel bad, man. It's on the cup.
Don't feel bad at all.
Don't feel bad. Hey, we that generation that's kind of stuck
in between.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, some of the new stuff be hot, man. You know what I mean? When I hear it on the radio, I'm like, okay. You know what I'm saying? But it's still not my go-tos. You know what I mean? I'm still gonna stick to my go-tos. When I'm in the car, I'm going to my go-tos. You know what I mean? I'm going to my Ball and G's, my Scarfaces, my Jay-Z's, you know what I'm saying? My UGK. That's what I'm going to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just don't really be and I don't really be checking for the new stuff. I really don't. I like you said, I'm stuck with what I came up on. Like,
if it ain't broke,
do you still feel like we always? I just gotta ask you, what you think a collab album of J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar would do to the
game? Man, if they on their A1, I think they could shut it. Oh man, I think they'll shut it down. Them two right there. I think they'll shut it down.
I concur.
At
the top of their game, though. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Hey, that's both of them. Hey, that's both of them. When they got the nappy head look, you know what I'm saying? When you can tell, you know what I'm saying? You can tell they've been in the booth, like burning the midnight oil. It's Kurt.
Oh yeah.
It's over. It's over.
It'll be over. I was just saying that, like, I haven't heard anything from Kendrick in a little bit besides the feature that he had on Busta's new project. I haven't really heard anything.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is too, and what's crazy is too, and me and Jay go back and forth with this all the time. And I always felt like when I look at Kendrick and I look at J. Cole, I still used to put in that category when he felt like it. I always felt like Drake was still in that category to me when he feel like it. You know what I'm saying? Because he got his moments where he just rap. You know what I'm saying? And me and Jay go back and forth all the time because he don't like the singing Drake. You know what I'm saying? Like he like the Drake collab with Rick Ross's Drake.
Right.
I don't like the singing Drake either. I can't. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a fan of him.
My thing,
my thing with Drake, man, is like Drake. He got lyrical. You know what I mean? He got lyrical talent, but I just, you know what I mean? I can't put him up there with Kendrick and J. Cole. I can't. I can't do it.
Right.
His dollars say he up there.
I think
his money say he way up there.
Oh yeah.
Financially, yeah.
Money say he's up there at the top, the tippity top.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Just to throw that out there.
You know what I mean?
I don't want to be a pessimistic.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's not talented. He's talented as hell. But I'm saying, you know what I mean, the vibe, the feeling that I get, you know what I mean, when I hear Cole, when I hear Kendrick, I do not get that feeling when I hear Drake. You know what I mean?
Yeah, facts.
I can relate. I can relate to Cole and Kendrick.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. Drake, like when he said he had some money on his head rap when he was in the high school rapping, that shit was one of the realest songs out of that year, man. I got $80,000 on my head. What? He talking like that on a song?
Again, I'm not knocking his talent.
Come on, that's disrespect. I need $500,000 on my head if you're gonna talk to me. Like
I'm not knocking his talent.
All of that is real talk, man. And I don't think Kendrick Lamar or J. Cole can make a song like that.
See, that's where we always get into it with this. That's where me and AG always get into it with Furman right here. Because he look at Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole as dudes who ain't
it?
Yeah. like dudes is too powerful out there. They speak over your head for some
entirely
people.
Too powerful.
Oh yeah, they nice.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta think about it, man.
I just feel like Drake say some real ass shit on the song. This ain't fame. This ain't clout. This is fame. This is fame. This ain't clout.
It's a reason they not just throwing stuff out there, you know what I mean? Just all willy-nilly. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna wait for this. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be some skill. That's what I want. It's gonna be some skill behind this.
And let me ask you about that, Thautz. Like, in terms of like when you thinking about projects and you putting projects together, like when you talk about Kendrick Lamar, even J. Cole, they go sometimes years without dropping projects.
Right.
To me, I think that's still relevant because a lot of people look at that as what are they doing or why the younger generation. From the older generation, people don't understand that real rap and real lyricists, it took a while before projects dropped.
Oh yeah.
It was a lot going on. So kind of what's your time like when you drop a project, like how long does it take you to kind of put something together?
It'll probably take me close to a year. And that's just because, you know, I got regular life going on too. So I can't just sit, you know, I just can't sit down and write and stuff all day because I got other stuff going on. But yeah, I think it'll take me a good year or maybe 10 months to a year to come up with something that that I'm proud of and I'm okay of putting out. Like, you know, we're in this microwave time where they just be putting stuff out extra quick. And,
hey,
you know,
hey, but we gotta,
that started with No Limited Cash Money. You know what I mean? No Limited Cash Money started that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but we got a comment. We got a comment from George Thompson saying that Drake is the GOAT and Drake's verse on Young Blue joint is crazy. Now, have y'all heard the Drake joint on Young Blue verse?
Yeah. It's tough.
I haven't either.
I haven't heard.
It's tough.
I haven't either. Thoughts. Is it going crazy, Chuck?
Yeah, it's tough. But
it's tough.
Yeah. But now I get you on that one though, because
shout out to like George Thompson, man. Thanks for tuning in, George.
But like I was saying though, it's like when I look at these dudes and when they drop, because to me, when I look at artists like you, and I can put you in that tier, real talk, you know what I'm saying, one of the tops, because you definitely be spitting. And I look at J. Cole and I look at Kendrick and all them, I'm like, dog.
And Furman.
And Furman. For artists like that, in my opinion, when y'all look at, because what goes on in the world is basically y'all book, it seems like. Right. So with something going on every day, to me as an artist, I felt like, and I look at Kendrick Lamar, I feel like the way he is, I'm pretty sure when you write a song, like you said, and then something happens, you probably want to go back on that and be like, I need to talk about that. Well, I need to address that. You know what I'm saying? Do you find yourself doing that a lot now in your writing process?
I guess yes and no. Like sometimes I'm kind of firm on what I want to do, but then you get these certain situations where it's almost like you have to say something. If you know, because sitting quiet isn't you know, it's just not the right move a lot of times. So yeah, I find myself going back, adding stuff, or when I think that a project is done and something major happens, I was like, okay, well, we got to talk about this. So either we're gonna have to add another cut to the project, or we're gonna have to take one away to put it on there. So,
I mean, I feel like when you in this arena, man, when you as an artist, man, you have an obligation. You know what I'm saying? You have an obligation to do that. You know what I mean? For real. You know what I mean? You have an obligation to you. The people are watching you. People are listening to you. You know what I mean? So you have an obligation to help influence and school the people in a positive direction. You know what I mean? Talk about some of the woos and woes that's going on in our communities. You feel what I'm saying? Highlight that. Bring that to the forefront.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. So, man, as we close, hey, Thautz, man, we really, 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 really appreciate it, man. It's been
thanks for having me.
It's been a long time coming, for real, and you know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. Like it's projects. Check out all. I'm gonna give you a chance to plug everything, but I'm gonna plug some of it for you. But check out all his projects, man. JigTheGod.com. You know what I'm saying? We got Organic, we got the Extended Weekend EP, we got the Two-Headed Monster joint.
This one right here.
Yeah. He got the merch on right there. That Two-Headed Monster.
That's cap.
You know what I'm saying? But go ahead, plug, man. Go ahead, plug.
But that's it. Those three, and then be on the lookout for the 40 Plus project. We'll probably drop it. We were going to drop it at the end of this month, but it may roll into next month. We'll see. We got to see what we might tweak a couple of things here or there, and then I'm working on a project with a buddy of mine. The group is called GMT, the official GMT on the Instagram. Thautz Music on Instagram. Just check for the new stuff. We got some powerful stuff talking about what's going on, just like on the 40 Plus project. It'll be the same on the GMT project. So y'all keep your ears out. We started putting some stuff up on all the platforms. So if you look up the official GMT, you'll find some stuff up on Spotify, iTunes. So when y'all get a chance, go listen to the Oregon Trail is the name of the joint about the.
Oh, come on, man! I was just about to say something. Yeah, that's my joint. Yeah.
Said the Oregon Trail is on Spotify.
Yeah,
it's on Spotify.
Okay.
I listen to it on iTunes, but yeah, that's my joint. Yeah, I'm rocking with that one. Definitely, man. Hey, go ahead. Oh, that's what's up, man. Furman, go ahead, man. How they get up?
Yo, I'm rocking this movers and shakers, man. And I want to show y'all something, man. peep this, right? It's the movers and shakers and Instagram, man. MRVS, shakers, Instagram. Yo, buy the hoodie, man. It's fresh, man. They got them up. You got the little, little varsity, situations on it, man. But yo, I just want to say, yo, shout outs to Big Money. Big Money, No Problems Talk podcast, man. For bringing on Thautz. I want to thank AG, Chuck, 88 Keys, who out in the field whooping some people's asses. Yeah, man. And I want to thank, it's Fur Main Entertainment, man. I want to thank my Furlanders, my fur men and my fur ladies, man. I'm going to see y'all later, man. And shout out to Thautz, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all having me, man. It's been fun.
Already. Go ahead, AG. Let them know how they can reach us.
Hey, Thautz, I just want to emphasize again, reiterate, man. We appreciate having you on the show, bro. You know what I mean? You got a home here with us anytime. You know what I mean? Anything you feel like you want to highlight, you know what I'm saying? I always welcome. You know what I mean? Jig know it. You know what I'm saying? We gotta get Jig back on. We need to do a show with you and Jig on
that'd be great.
Time.
Yeah.
You got that? Hey, Jig, we need to make that happen, man. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we definitely appreciate it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But hey,
appreciate it.
No doubt. Y'all know what it is. Y'all can find us, all major podcast platforms. Look, catch us on BMNP_ENT Instagram, BMNP_podcast on Twitter, Big Money No Problems Entertainment on Facebook, Money No Problems casting on SoundCloud. We on all major podcast platforms, you know what I mean? And since everybody else flashing their brands, we in the branding culture, you know what I mean? Check out that majestic mind state, you know what I'm saying? And the BMNP where is coming soon. Yes. It will be available. Yes. You know what I'm saying? We moving. What you say? Sir. Movers and shakers. You know what I'm saying? Movers and shakers.
Movers and shakers, baby.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That. You know what I mean? Hey, black men.
Hey, like I said, already. And like I said, man, we appreciate, like I said, this ain't no, he ain't new. You know what I'm saying? I've been rocking for sure with Thautz since, it's almost 7 years now. So this ain't nothing this ain't nothing new. You know what I'm saying? He's been going at it for a minute. You know what I'm saying? I've been rocking with him for a minute. Definitely check out all those projects, man, on jigthegod.com, man. One of the top producers, real talk, and this is not just because he a homie. This is just because he Jig. Because Jig know, you know what I'm saying? I let him know it was real. Hey, one of the top producers that some of y'all need to know. Some of y'all artists out here who probably paying attention to us need to know. You know what I'm saying? So trust and believe that, man. He doing this thing out here because when you listen to these projects off his website, man, jigthegod.com, y'all gonna see what we talking about. When you hear him and Thautz, y'all gonna see what we talking about, man. Like I said, one of my top projects from you, man, heads up, is Help Me Fly. That's like my favorite joint that y'all did. Yeah. That's like my favorite joint. But
smooth.
Also, me and AG, man, we want to salute everybody. That's why I was only right to have Thautz on this one. But we want to salute everybody who's been paying attention to us. We just hit over 500 downloads of our podcast, man, recently. Hey, that's a feat, man, in only 10 months. So from the bottom to where we at right now, we still grinding, doing what we got to do. But we want to thank all listeners. We want to thank everybody who's paying attention to us.
Hey, and the thing, Chuck, it started off with just a quick idea, a quick phone call. You know what I mean? A quick phone call.
It was a quick call. It was a quick conversation.
We put it in.
Doing our first show.
Yeah.
Nice.
We doing our first show. You know what I'm saying? So it was crazy, man. So shout out to all our guests who've been on here, who helped with all this, man. Shout out to all y'all, man. Y'all definitely got a place and a home here with BMNP, man. So definitely salute, man. We appreciate everybody for paying attention to us. Like AG said, man, you can check us out on Instagram, BMNP_ENT, BMNP_podcast on Twitter. We on the platforms. We on every major podcasting platform that you can think of. We everywhere. Continue to pay attention. Check out that 40 plus coming soon.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? But before you get into the 40 plus, know this man with those other projects on jigthegod.com, man. And definitely on with the new GMT movie that he got going on as well, man. So salute. Fur Main, he already know what it is, man. That's family right there. Check out Fur Main Entertainment He got the YouTube. He got the IG. He got everything moving. Hey, salute to everybody who paying attention. Like I said, man, we want to thank y'all, man, from the bottom of our hearts, man. 500 that's a good look for us in only 10 months, man. That's crazy. So we're gonna keep moving, man. So once again, man, salute. Thank y'all for paying attention. Hey, peace.
Peace.